好
and
您好
are both greetings used when people meet for the first time. In English, they can be translated as how are you? How do you do? Or hello. The difference lies in the characters
你
and,
您
which look and sound similar. As for their usage, you can probably guess most of it from the following two drawings.
你好
Is used for greeting peers, people of lower status, and in informal daily interactions. For example, at gatherings with friends or casual greetings among colleagues.
您好
Is typically used in formal settings or when greeting elders, professionals like doctors or teachers, and people of higher status. It shows respect and consideration for the other person, suitable for first meetings or situations requiring a certain level of etiquette. When referring to the second person, in China, there are indeed significant regional differences in the use of
你
and.
您
Generally, people in northern regions, particularly in areas such as
北京、天津、河北、山西大同、山东、
and northern parts of
河南、安徽、江苏
have a strong preference for frequently using
您
to refer to the second person as a sign of respect and politeness. Meanwhile, people in southern regions tend to use
你
in most cases. How did the difference come from? My personal guess is that North China has been serving as the cradle of Confucianism. In ancient China, the political centers of most dynasties were located in the north, where etiquette in interpersonal interactions was held in high regard, leading to greater caution in word choice and phrasing when speaking. In contrast, the south was primarily an undeveloped wilderness in ancient China and later developed into a commercial hub. As a result, people interacted more casually and were not bound by as many elaborate rituals and formalities. Now, let's look into the origin of the character.
您 您
Is formed by adding
心
under.
你
So, what does this
心
mean? It represents the physical organ of the heart. In ancient Chinese script known as oracle bone inscriptions, the character
心
depicts the outline of a human heart, with two simplified diagonal strokes added to indicate the texture of the heart muscle and blood vessels. At this stage, the character
心
directly reflects the ancient people's rudimentary understanding of human anatomy, despite being crudely etched. It vividly showcases the immediacy and simplicity of pictographic script. Later in
经文
bronze script, the character
心
further evolved by adding a dot in the center, symbolizing the blood flowing through the heart. This not only demonstrates the ancients' meticulous observation of nature, but also embodies their profound understanding of the heart as the symbol of life's core. Later in
篆文
the seal script, the form of
心
further evolved as more balanced lines and smoother strokes. A curved line added at the top, pointing to the right, symbolizes the blood vessels connected to the heart, making the overall shape closer to the physiological structure of the heart. About 2,000 years ago, the form of the character
心
of
楷书
called regular script was finally formed and has largely stabilized into what we see today. In both Chinese and English, as well as in all languages crossing the world, the meaning of the heart has evolved from a purely physiological organ to embody abstract human emotions, often associated with love, sincerity, honesty, and the like. Chinese is no exception. By adding the radical of
心
which refers to heart, beneath the character of
你
it becomes
您
which expresses respect towards the person being addressed. When Chinese people say
您好
it means that they greet others with more respect. Let us review how the character of
好，
came into form again here. If we break down the character,
好，
on the left side is
女，
meaning female, and on the right side is
子，
originally meaning baby, kid, child. Although you have already learned about the origin of the character,
好，
it's worth delving deeper into the origins of the characters.
女，
And
子，
the character
女，
originally depicted a woman kneeling on the ground. Later, a horizontal stroke was added above her head, which represented a type of hairpin called,
簪子，
and it is used to help women tie up their hair. This seemingly simple yet practical hair accessory has been used by Chinese women from ancient times to the present day. Later, the character
女，
was no longer depicted a woman kneeling on the ground, but rather standing with her arms crossed. At beginning, the arms were depicted as hanging down, but as Chinese characters evolved into the square script, the arms were extended, resulting in the appearance we see today. The evolution of the character.
女，
Doesn't it somewhat resemble the transformation of women's social status, from a subordinate and lower position to an independent individual? Before learning about the origin of the character,
子，
let's observe the characteristics of human infants. Don't infants tend to have larger heads compared to that of the adult? Now, let's take a look at the depiction of a baby in ancient Chinese oracle bone inscriptions. The square shape represents the large head of the baby, the vertical line represents the body, and the horizontal lines extending to both sides represent the baby's arms. You might ask, where are the baby's legs and feet? In fact, the earliest depiction of
子，
in ancient Chinese oracle bone inscriptions referred to an infant swaddled in blankets, with the lower half of the body wrapped up. Later, the square-shaped large head in the character
子，
gradually evolved into a triangle, eventually becoming the abstract appearance we see today. In summary, in Chinese,
好，
which means good or well, is composed of
女，
and.
子，
It is common sense, crossing all the cultures, that the mother-child relationship is one of the most beautiful human emotions. It is the foundation of the continuity of human beings. So isn't it quite reasonable that Chinese people use the combination of these two characters to express beautiful things and feelings? Again,
您好，
means hi. Hello. How are you? How do you do? Greeting with respect.
你好，
And.
您好，
In real-life Chinese contexts, though equivalent to hello, how are you, in English, are actually only used upon first meeting. In real life, you rarely hear Chinese people using them beyond initial encounters. So, how do Chinese people greet each other in daily life? In fact, it depends on the speaking scenario. Chinese is a language that heavily relies on context. When meeting in the morning, people might simply say
早，
equivalent to good morning or morning, but more often than not, they might say nothing at all and just get straight to the point. Many people might perceive this as impolite in China, but once you get used to it, you'll realize how efficient this approach can be.